Hey guys, I'm down here at G&L Motors down near Rockley. I've got Reece with me, and Reece is just going to have a bit of a chat of what we've actually done to the Ram. So g'day Reece, how are you, mate?
How are you today?
Good, mate. So obviously you do all American vehicles, but you also do other vehicles as well. Like what does your business actually do?
We do all common rail diesel performance and upgrades. Obviously the US market over the last couple of years has been fairly, popular. We've always had US trucks all our lives here. My father was Canadian, my mum's American, so we've always had them in the family. But yeah, over the last 4 to 5 years, the US trucks are extremely popular, so.
Okay, cool. And what sort of things do people get done to them? Or what have you done to my vehicle?
Okay, so on your truck this week we've done a 2021 ECU swap because the 2022 platform is completely locked. You cannot get into it properly at this stage. So we take an earlier model ECU and we clone that ECU into the vehicle. That gives us the ability to tune as we need to and set up the truck correctly. We've also done a set of gear ratio swaps on this truck. It's running obviously a 37-inch tyre. It just brings the final drive ratios back into specification and stops the trucks from lugging.
Okay, so just on that, just for the people out there that don't know, and probably like myself, so if they were going from 35s to 37s, it's highly recommended, or it is a must?
Recommended. On a 68 RFE truck, it's a must. On a 3500 ASIN, it is highly recommended. Okay, and the reason for that is calibrating a 37-inch tyre into the TCM and getting the gearbox to hold its shift points is pretty much impossible. So you have to do the mechanical side of things as well. Okay,
cool. Well, at least that gives people information that if they are going to change their tyres, to think about obviously doing the the diff gear change, because obviously if they don't, they're going to trash
you will have premature failure of the transmission. Just these trucks, they have so much torque down low. They'll pull 10 ton at 1200 RPM. The transmission hates it. Okay, you've got to treat the transmission like a big hydraulic pump. That pump is being driven by the engine. When we don't have engine RPM there, we end up obviously starving the trans.
Okay, cool. Now in the motor, I spoke to you about the Banks Monster thing that you've put in there. You'll be able to explain what it is and why we've done it. I've heard other people asking questions as to about the little heater element, but I'm sure you're going to touch on that now.
So we've installed obviously a Banks Monster Ram and a heater grid delete assembly here. Okay, the main concern with the 6.7 and the heater grid is there is a stud that actually breaks away the insulation around it, and then the stud falls inside the engine and causes catastrophic failure. So we remove that heater grid assembly. We use a Banks intake plate and then a Banks intake horn. Okay, the intake horn over the backside actually has a heater element in it as well. Okay, so for the colder climates you do still obviously get that heater to help with cold starts.
Excellent. And I was just looking at the dyno. We've actually picked up a few extra 100 horsepower and a few extra pound of torque. What do these vehicles generally come in at?
So we usually work on a percentage gain or a kind of a horsepower figure gain. Every vehicle is slightly different. So these trucks, we usually see them gain around that 150 horse and around that 400 to 500 newton meters comfortably. That's not pushing the friendship with them. That's neat, clean, comfortable. We always do 5-tune select with them as well, so you have a number of obviously horsepower and torque levels, right from an economised standard to a performance race tune.
Okay, now I think you're saying there's 5 tunes that you've actually put in this.
Yes.
What are each of the different tunes for? Why is there 5?
So 1 is economised standard, 2 is heavy tow, and what I mean by heavy tow is what they do in the US, a gooseneck, with 2 Dodge Rams on that gooseneck, 8-9 ton stuff. Okay, 3 is light tow is what we do, 3.5 to 4.5 ton. 4 is performance and 5 is performance race. The reason we give you a number of different, horsepower and torque settings is to control temperature. Okay, the more fuel that we add to the truck, the more horsepower and torque it makes, but the hotter it gets. So when you combine a big performance tune with 10 ton on its backside, you run the risk of overheating. We've got 2 things ganging up on the engine: big load and a lot of fuel creates heat. So we always pull back.
Okay, now off memory, I think. So I think they're 400 or 410 out of the box, and this one came in at 538.
Yeah, so the factory obviously classes it at the flywheel. We obviously dyno everything at the wheels or at the hubs, okay? So at the moment, I think this truck here is making roughly around about 538 and around 1600 Newton meters at the hubs, okay? So.
And that's a big jump because I think they're about 1300 stock stand, and as you said, they do it at the flywheel.
That's
but
right.
That's a big game, which I'm pretty happy with that. It's good numbers.
But no, neat, clean, tidy, safe, reliable, you know.
And just for people out there, how long, Reece, do you need for a vehicle? How long do you need the vehicle to go through the sort of thing that you've done with mine?
Listen, the 2022 and upwards flat platform with the ECU swap is a fairly complex process. So we usually have the vehicles for roughly 1 week, okay? That just gives us time to obviously get it in, get the old ECU off, clone security, get it back on, programming, so there's a bit involved.
All right, I'll whack on the bottom here. I'll put your phone number and I'll put your email or your email and stuff.
I appreciate that. Thank
you.
You
obviously have a website, which we'll put that on there.
Yep.
Do you know it off the top of your head?
I don't. Just Google.
That's all good.
Google G&L. It should come up.
And what suburb are we actually? Is it Rockley or
We're
what?
at Rockley here at the moment. We will be moving in the next couple of months to Jimboomba. So we've built a new building out there. You know, obviously custom suited to, you know, these US trucks. So yeah, no, it should be good.
Excellent, Reece. Thanks for your time, mate. I'm really looking forward to getting in it and going for a drive with the van on the back. Yeah, thank you for your help. Appreciate it.
At all. Thank you.
Cheers, Reece.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, so there you go. Later on, obviously, we'll do a bit of video on the truck while it's actually driving and that, and give you a bit of a different listen to the sound. But yeah, looking forward to getting out there and getting back in the van and travelling the country. Catch you guys. Hey guys, down here at Outback Kitters in Brendale, North Brizzy. I've got Mike Donnelly, the owner of Outback Kitters, with me, and we're going to make a few mods to the truck. Mike, what are we actually going to do today, mate?
Alright, so Dave in true fashion has no idea what we're doing to his truck. He just rocks up and says do something. But look, there's a few new products that we do have out there on the market, and a big pain point that a lot of people have is integrating a caravan camera, the rear camera on the back of the Ram as well, especially when you have a canopy set up like Dave and Roz. So what we've got is the Outback Kitters Legend mirror. So this actually replaces your factory mirror. It does have an integrated front and rear camera. It's also a dash camera, and even better yet is we now have the caravan camera integration. So if you do have a Safety Dave or a Dometic camera, it does integrate. There are a few changes that do need to be made. Furthermore, it has one other really cool feature is it does have an integrated switch panel. Now, obviously, you're decked out. You've got your Switch Pros, which is a phenomenal device to have. But for those that are just adding a bit of extra switching, a few lights, it is easy to press a button, and then you also have your integrated switching as well. So it's kind of an all-in-one encompassing solution, making sure your eyes are on the road, you're not playing around with buttons on the screen, and taking away from your music when you're driving as well. So it's a really cool solution. We're pretty happy to release it out to the market.
Well, I guess you're saving a little bit of money too by not investing in a mirror as well as a Switch Pro like I have done.
Correct.
You can just get it all integrated, as you said, in the one little item.
Yep.
That way your hands aren't going everywhere, it's just in the one spot.
Yeah, spot on. And then even furthermore is you have a lot of the vehicles out there these days that do have the Dometic camera. I think that's probably the most notorious one for it. You can also get the Safety Dave one, so you don't have another screen sitting on your dash occupying space as well. So the beauty of this is also allows you to have that split screen view, and it also, for the cameras, you can drag them up and down. So if you want to look further down at your vehicle, what your hitch is doing, versus further up to see the cars behind you, it's very easy to go and change that around.
All right, we're going to have a bit of a look at the camera in a minute, but if you don't have a canopy and you have just a normal tray back, like the vehicle you have there, can you use that mirror to look out your back windscreen, or is it?
So you can. So there are just a few little changes to what we're doing. So it doesn't use your factory camera. So this system does come with the rear camera. So we're just in the process of finalising your housing and where this actually gets mounted on the standard of every Ram, F-Truck, Chev. But also, it's not just the American trucks. You got a lot of the Hiluxes and Tritons and Navaras that we're putting these on there as well. So it's kind of universal across a whole soiree of vehicles.
Oh, excellent. All right.
Let's go show you and see what one. Yeah, I'll show you one that's in action. Let's go. Alrighty. So this is turning the mirror on.
It's a pretty sleek looking mirror compared to the one that I've got. Mine's fairly fat and very big, which I find when I'm driving, it can sometimes take up a bit of your screen. Like
Correct.
You have a blind spot.
Well, even more so for the GMCs and the Silverados, their mirror is really small. So here you've got a nice big field of view as well. And it doesn't clip onto existing mirrors. So just a reminder, your factory mirror does come off. We have a whole bunch of different housings to suit. And so as you can see, this customer here has got a Ram 1500, has one of the RSI canopies on the back, and visibility was very limited looking through the back windows and whatnot, as you can appreciate. So what we've done here, it's got the Legend mirror system, and this is looking at the back now, just quickly to show. So this is where you can drag that up and down as well. So, you know, you don't need a 2-camera system, one facing down, one facing up, which is kind of neat. And then there's 2 ways to go and change your camera view. So when you tap it, you can either press this button here. Now this one says not detected, so what this is the customer's caravan camera, so that is all hooked up. The other thing that you can do is you can swipe it. Now this, you'll see here, is the back camera again. So if you swipe, this is the front camera, so you can see Just Brilliant Adventures there.
Front camera, okay, so while you're driving, if there's an accident, you're obviously recording.
Correct.
So that's one of the other good features that the other ones do not have. This one's got a built-in camera which takes obviously a memory card.
Yep.
And you can take photos and video footage whilst you're driving, just for your insurance and all that sort of stuff.
Spot on. Look, the only limitation that you are going to have with this mirror, right, and this is how, as a driver, how I'd have that positioned, the mirror at the back here, like, you might have a limited field of view, and that's just because of the factory housing that's going to be here for your mirror. So obviously this is a Ram 1500. It's got a bit of a bulky area, and the reason being on these, this is where the front radar detection is for your adaptive cruise control. So, but outside of that, like I said, you can still drag that around, but being recording, you know, you have that extra level of protection. You can record when the vehicle is off as well. And that's all in the settings menu, so you can choose your sensitivity.
I see here it's got 0 kilometres an hour. So has this got a built-in GPS, has it?
It does have a built-in GPS, so that will tell you your speed, and then even more so if you do go to the setting section here. And then where is the GPS button? It is there it is. So it'll also give you longitude and latitude when it does connect as well. It takes a few seconds.
Obviously we're in a shed, so
yeah, a little bit hard to get that data here right now. So then, or even more so here is, you know, you can play around with all the different formats of the cameras. You can inverse the cameras as well. So if the way you've mounted it is upside down, it's very easy to go and swip that around. The display icons, you can have them turned on and off as well. Auto recording, power off. So there's a whole bunch of cool features that are there. So another really awesome feature being is the Switch Pro buttons, also the switch panel buttons, should I say. Now these are, you know, so you've got 2 40 amp switches here, and then you've got 6 20 amp switches here as well. So at least, you know, your big heavy duty light bars on the front or on the roof, they fit there quite nice. And obviously all your other lights can fit through here. Now it's not just for lights, you can do a whole bunch of different things. So this is how I'm editing each of the switches. You can make them momentary on or off as well. So if you do have a relay trigger that you need to do to activate something in your canopy, you can do that. You can play around with the brightness. So this is also a really cool feature. So if you do have some driving lights, or perhaps the side lights is where this one's used more often, and you want to adjust that brightness, you can have the side lights just a little bit dimmer than normal. If you want that battery to be, the power to come from either the battery or the ignition, and then you can also add in some strobes as well. We know you're a bit of a party animal. I know Roz would hate you for it.
Love me rock lights, mate. Love me rock lights.
And that's such a cool way to get, you know, if you rip it down and you want to have your rock lights strobing away, you can do that.
So how many switches then have you got on here?
So these are all the different variances. So as you can see, we've got fan, you've got windshield, you know, strobe lights, dust, grill, radio, rock lights. So that would be you or your underglow if you want to.
So it's more in depth than just the normal 8 channel Switch Pro that I have.
Absolutely. Look, you know, well, the Switch Pro can do all the same stuff as well, but you know, the Switch Pro generally comes with all the stickers for you to put on. Obviously this doesn't have stickers, so you're just activating it as you see. That's probably a bit easier for viewers to see. So yeah, really cool features. And again, this isn't specific for just the American vehicles. A lot of people with the ATV market or the side-by-side market, they're also quite popular for all your lockers and lights or whatnot. Very popular, this system in the US, in the trophy truck realm as well. So But yeah, look, and that's a pretty brief overview as to the power of what this product is. And what I'll also show, so here is where you do have that split screen view. I don't think we saw that earlier. No, so this will be like behind. So again, you can still adjust accordingly here. So this is when you're looking at the back of the vehicle. So you're looking at the van, hoping that makes sure that the bikes are still attached. And then obviously here you'd be what's behind the caravan as well. So it gives you that ultimate peace of mind.
Or in my case, making sure the van's still attached.
Probably still attached.
I have lost it twice.
Twice? Oh, well, okay. Well, if there's a third time lucky, well, at least it'll be recorded on here and we can have you swearing and carrying on like a pork chop.
Oh, so the camera at the back records as well?
It does.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just the front one. No. Okay, so you got both recording.
Yep, front and rear dash cam.
Oh, excellent. Now, just for the people out there, how long does it take for you to install these? Do they drop the vehicle off? Can they get them in? Can they get the kits sent out to them and get them installed themselves? How does it all work?
Yeah, a bit of both. Look, at the moment we're enjoying having a few customers come here just to help refine the R&D process, but furthermore just make sure that we have install instructions for every vehicle. So we're taking photos and cataloguing exactly how to do it. Outback Kitters has a big national network of dealers that we've been working with quite closely over the number of years as well. So and that's covering pretty much every corner of Australia, including Tasmania, so we don't forget you guys down there as well, right? But feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to ship this out. We've done a fair few to date, and the feedback's just been phenomenal. So I know it's been a little bit of a hidden secret, but when it comes to new products at Outback Kitters, I like to have these tried and tested before we really go hard out in the marketing, and so that's why we enlist a few good friends like Dave and Roz from Just Brilliant Adventures to test this out and give us that real world feedback, because we know that you don't treat your travels very lightly. You're going to very remote areas, so if it survives it'll survive anyone. The
thing too, mate, is anything that makes your travels easier, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So something that's going to be very cost efficient, but give you, I guess, not longevity, but safety and all that sort of stuff on the road. It's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. And look, the big thing for this product as well is you're keeping your eyes on the road. You're not looking down at a screen. You're keeping your eyes up on the mirror. So that's going to be really important for us as well, just to make sure that we refine this product to keep you safe on the road, and make sure that obviously you have the visibility of what's happening behind you, because it's not a cheap setup of what a lot of customers have with their caravan in tow. So we want to make sure that you've got peace of mind knowing that you can see not only what's behind your vehicle, but who's sitting behind you on the behind the caravan, because it's a big blind spot there if you don't have the system like this.
And for the ladies out there, it's quite sleek, and it's an attractive looking mirror. It's not a big, ugly, bulky looking thing.
I thought you were talking about me, so.
Big ugly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, attractive and sleek. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks, Dave. Way to give me a rap. But look, guys, this is available now, so do go to the website, outbackkitters.com. Otherwise, hit up Dave and Roz. They're fantastic advocates for us as well, and the relationship is bilateral as well. We love what Dave and Roz do out there in the market, so make sure you do follow their social media channels. Obviously, they're going to give you some great feedback, and if there's any questions and you want an unbiased approach, make sure you do hit up the team from Just Brilliant Adventures. If you want to order it, go to outbackkitters.com. All right, so I want to give you guys just a bit of a rundown of Outback Kitters. So this brand existed, we're probably back to 2020 now, so just shy of 4 years actually. So it kind of was born from previous heritage at SCD Performance. So SCD, and a fantastic company, remanufacturing vehicles, then it expanded and built out the AusMV dealership network. But we hung on to the SCD name through SCD Performance, which was the accessories arm. So we're doing a lot of the pre-delivery accessories and also post-delivery accessories. We started making products, and a lot of the stuff I was bringing out from the US, it wasn't suitable here for Australia. Rhino Racks and Yakima, whilst they have product today, they didn't back then. So we were giving them the vehicles locally here in Australia to get product made, but we also just started making our own. So we do make a whole bunch of pre-runner bars, roof racks systems. We do all sorts of battery boxes, compressor boxes that are hidden whether inside the tub or underneath. We also have a very large suspension option. So we are, as of today, we are BDS and Fox's largest customer outside of the United States as well. So we do have a 40-foot container that's just about to land as well. It's got 350 odd lift kits, fun fact, I said I'd do a nudie run around Australia if I didn't hit a very specific 7-figure target in the first year of dealing with them. I am just like, I think 50 grand short of doing that, so you might be seeing my white ass run around Australia. Actually, I've got another month to buy 50 grand worth of stuff, which we'll do. So, but look, BDS and Fox, a fantastic product if you're looking for a lift kit for your vehicle. So from 2 inches all the way up to a 12-inch lift kit. Now, obviously in Australia, we do the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch lift kits. Try not to go beyond that. But we also are working getting all these engineered and finalised as well. So that is just drip feeding. It is a bit of a process there. So BDS and Fox, if you are looking for a lift kit for your vehicle, that's the creme de la creme, the absolute best you can get. The Fox shocks, just they're fantastic. They ride beautifully. And obviously, you know, you look at like the Think Desert Race, you know, the first 5 vehicles in every category that comes across, they all running Fox shocks. So it doesn't get any better than that. We also do have another brand of lift kits that we're very excited to announce, and it's going to come out around the time this video is. It's Outback Kitters by Zone. So BDS do have another brand, and it's essentially the same componentry, a few different shapes and styles to say the upper control arms and some of the diff mounted brackets. But what we've done is that product does come at a lower price point because it's typically paired up with strut spacers or other kind of spacers to achieve the lift. So what we've done is we've removed those spacers and we've made our Outback Kitters shocks and also our coils to suit as well. So what you're gonna have, instead of having that, you've got that top tier BDS and Fox. Look, for a few of the others, I just want to go and share that budget around a few other accessories. You know, for the same price of the BDS Fox lift kit, you can now get the Outback Kitters by Zone and also maybe one of our pre-runner bars or one of our roof rack setups as well. So you can kind of complete a bit of a build, but you're not going to be compromising on quality. So the Outback Kitter shocks, they are assembled locally here in Brisbane. We do get all the accessories, so all the parts rather, from around the world. Everything does get assembled locally here in Brisbane. We're yet to have a single warranty call that is custom valved and designed to suit the specific lift kit as well. So some other brands, what they generally do is they'll go and choose a shock and they go, it'll fit on the back of a Chev, but on the front of a Ram and on the back of an F truck. So they'll try use the same part number across multiple vehicles, whilst we build the part specific to the vehicle and the lift kit. So just something that we're trying to do to make sure that you guys have an alternate option if you're trying to do a big build and you don't want to spend all that money on suspension. So there's 2 very good options of what we have here at Outback Kitters. And honestly, like we've got a very big dealer network around Australia, and we rely on them a lot. They give us a lot of different feedback. So the hard thing that happens a lot is if you do get a vehicle from a different conversion company, everyone does it a little bit differently. So sometimes you might need specific components, whether it's a new idling arm or a pitman arm or whatnot. So make sure you do buy through the Outback Kitters dealer network, because we're going to make sure that your vehicle's on and off the hoist in record time, as opposed to sitting on the hoist for 3 weeks waiting for parts from a conversion company. Just a question there, Mike. Talking about the shocks. Yep. Is this for, again, all types of vehicles, or are you only for American? Like, what's the go? It's a good question. Look, right now we are specialising on the suspension side of things with the American trucks. Now, that said, I've got a pallet down there. I do have 79 series, I have 300 series, I've got a bunch of 200 series stuff coming through, D-Maxes, Hiluxes, so we are working aggressively with BDS and Fox in the US to make stuff for the domestic vehicle realm as well. So look, Fox is pretty well known across all facets of the market. It does attract that higher price point, but what we're trying to build with BDS and Fox is a whole range of lift kits for the Australian domestic market. It is very huge on our radar. Now, I guess we're doing something a bit untraditional in terms of most people start with the domestic vehicles, your Land Cruisers and Patrols, and then they slowly get in the American stuff. I'm kind of the other way. I know the American stuff like the back of my hand, and I'm dipping my foot and trying to learn the difference between an N70 and an N80 Hilux or whatnot. So look, it's a big market, and there's opportunity of what we're trying to build for that top tier to make sure that those domestic vehicles are going to have fantastic suspension options moving forward. Okay, and is that the same for your bull bars, or are they only American at the moment? At the moment, it is all only American. Yep. We do have 2 prototypes, so one for the Y62 Patrol, one for the 300 series as well. So they're coming through, just doing a few refinements, then we're going to release those later in the year as well. Nice. And your bars can be colour-coded towards whatever vehicle you've got. Is
that correct? Or?
Yeah, correct. So all the bars are made locally here in Brisbane. So we do use Australian manufacturers for everything we do. And obviously we're just trying to keep that job and the quality of the product here. So the bars are made here. They do come raw. Typically we ship them around the country unpainted or powder coated, just to prevent any transit damage. Doesn't matter how well you wrap them up in blankets and bubble wrap and all that stuff, they're still going to rock up a bit busted. So we've got a bunch of boxes coming through for them. So soon they'll roll out powder coated once we have that extra protection, and once I'm satisfied that I can get it from here all the way to, say, one of our partners in Perth without any damage consistently.
Okay, so up behind you, I dare say, is the unpowder coated ones.
Yeah, correct.
You've got Chevys, F250s and all sorts up there, and then down on the floor here is one of your powder coated ones.
Yeah, correct. And that's the customer who's coming to get that installed. So we do the odd installation in-house, and that's just because I'm trying to refine the installation procedures. All right, so one of the things that we do a little bit different with our pre-runner bars, and pretty much all the products here, is that I'm diving headfirst into making some harnesses. Now, the reason why I'm trying to do this, I am trying to make these products easy for a DIY install, but also for those workshops that are out there to be able to go grab one of our bars and not spend hours upon hours trying to find the right accessory fitter to go and fit the bar. So if you don't have an auto electrician, we do have, for all of our bars, I've got these plug and play harnesses. So this is from your parking sensor extensions. So all of those need to be cut and extended by anywhere from 15 to 25 centimeters. So we've got these 30 centimeter long extension harnesses. That makes that part save a hell of a lot of time and also reduce costs on materials. Also the wiring of the light. So our bars, we do have these nice big bright light bars that shine out light to the side, and I strategically built them like this. The reason being is when you're driving down the road, and I'm sure Just Brilliant Adventures can attest to this, it's not about the kangaroo in front of you that you're worried about, it's the one that's about to jump out in front of you. So our bars have this nice light that spews out light to the side, and then obviously if you have your light bar or your spotlights in front of you, you're going to get that depth in front of you as well. So what we've done there is made a very specific harness that plugs into those two side lights and the optional lights in the front. And then what that does, that runs to a power harness in your engine bay. So again, this is for those who don't have a 4x4 accessory shop nearby. It just turns the bar into a plug and play machine. So this is a really cool scenario. And then the only variable for that is running that switching for all those lights into the cab. I guess this isn't where I can offer a one-stop shop for that, because in the likes of, you know, Dave and Roz, they've got that Switch Pro. There's some people that just want it permanently on the high beam, they don't want to switch, so we do have a wireless switch as well that's going to be released to the market very shortly. And so that's just one of the things that we're trying to do to make our bars very efficient, very customer friendly, very installation friendly as well. So really happy with how they're coming along. We do keep a lot of them in stock as well, so I know there's like high demand for these. I order more than what we're getting demanded for, just so that way you don't have that 12 to 16 week lead time that you're going to see from a few other pre-runner bar, bull bar manufacturers out there.
And I see up on the shelf, mate, you've got fuel tanks.
Yeah.
What's happening with them?
So Titan fuel tanks. So I've been working with them for the better part of 7 years as well. So back to the SCD Performance days. These guys have a fantastic fuel tank. They do make them for your Rams, your F-Trucks and your Chevs. It gives you close to 200 litres, on some vehicles slightly over 200 litres. It is made from a military grade cross polymer. Now we know Dave, ex-military, and Roz as well, you know, the real military woman out there. You know, military grade, like these are actually put into the US vehicles as well in their defence force. So it is 20 times stronger than what your factory fuel tank is. So there's like single line polymer or there's cross-linked polymer. Cross-linked polymer is very strong, very robust. You won't have your cracks, you won't have your leaks like you would typically have on your aluminium or steel tanks. And what this does is these actually go and replace your factory fuel tank. So it just utilises a bit of the extra dead space. It doesn't impede where your spare wheel is, doesn't impede on the electric side steps either. So really awesome option if you are looking to carry a bit of extra fuel as you're touring around Australia. We do keep a lot of these Titan tanks in stock. Problem being is they are extremely popular, right? So yeah, I could bring in 50 tanks a month and they'd still be moving. So do reach out to us if you are interested in one of those tanks.
Okay, and you want to show us some of the other products that
absolutely. So one thing I'd love to show you, now we've just taken over this shed, there's a whole bunch of space that we've cleared out, which is exciting because we've got 350 lift kits arriving next week. So I'll run you by a product called Sumo Springs. These are a really cool product. I'll find one that's open if I can. So this product, Sumo Springs, is a product that I found over in the US at SEMA a while ago. So, you know, airbags are a phenomenal solution. Obviously they do fix a real good problem with variable weight and the impact it has on your vehicle. Now obviously the more weight you have on the back, the more the front will typically lift up, and that's very important to have the weight on the front, because when you're steering, especially on a wet, rainy day like today, that will get impacted if you don't have all the weight on there. So keeping the vehicle nice and level is very important. Now these things are called coil Sumo Springs. All of their products are made of a microcellular polyurethane. So what that is, it's a progressive rated spring. Now these are not made out of rubber. Rubber tends to bounce. So if you think of your factory bump stops, you know, they are short. They're designed to stop the body hitting the chassis. You know, you don't want to have that metal on metal contact. So what these definitely do, well, these ones are specifically for your coils, and I'll show you some of the other ones as well. What this does is you jack up the front of your vehicle and you wind these into the coil quite easily, and it's something that can be done, you know, without any tools whatsoever. A bit of soapy water, it really helps. Ideally, it's really good for vehicles like yours, been out on the road for a few years. You know, that front suspension is gonna start to have a little bit of sag. It's inevitable in due course, right? So tired and old suspension works really well, but also for a lot of these lift kits that we do get out of the US, they do have very soft coils, and that's just because they don't do this with their 3500s. They really don't. So these are a really good option for us to go and include with one of those BDS or zone lift kits, so that you do have those coils, especially if it's the American coils that are in it, and it just helps minimize that body roll and sway. It just gives you a bit of that extra support.
So tired and old suspension.
Yep.
Body roll and sway. So that'd be good for me to put around Roz's legs.
Absolutely, around Roz's legs, and she'll probably put one around your mouth. So you can try it. For Roz, I'll give her the nice big one to shut your gob up. But now look, these do come in a variety of sizes, and it's pretty simple. All you have to do is just measure the gap in the coil. There's a whole legend on our website around the coil Sumo Springs. You know, and this is just so you can see on the install instructions how they do fit in. So it just winds into there. It's a very easy solution. Have you had much feedback from the ones that you have put into vehicles and sold? Yeah, absolutely. So just a few of the guys that have had, whether it's BDS, Carly, Rough Country lift kits, any of those big American brands, they're finding that it's not helping. Sometimes the shocks make a bit of a difference, but also your coil, that's what carries a lot of that weight as well. So it's been fantastic. But then all of a sudden we're getting a lot of people with like Subaru Outbacks that are starting to load their things and sort of go off bush a bit. We've had some very old like Mazda BT50s and the coil front ends that are starting to sag. A lot of ex-mining vehicles, so the auctions are starting to almost put them in to make their vehicles ride a little bit better when they're selling them as well. So yeah, like these have been a really cool, nice little product. And it's something that we're trying to add almost to every lift kit that goes out there, because especially if you're adding on a bar, like you may have already invested in some good suspension, which you have, but then after the fact some people will come and add a bull bar and a winch. You don't want to have to go and spend all that money to go rip those coils out and put them back in. This is a DIY product. So I'll quickly show you some other things for the rear end. Like those coil Sumo Springs, they can work on front or rear coils, depending on what you have. But let's see here.
One thing I'd say, Mike, is I was told once that a poor man pays twice.
Yep.
So if you go skimping and you go and put, well, not if you go skimping, but if you go and put like say a top-notch suspension kit in,
yep,
well then you might as well just pay that little bit extra, put them in to make it a better ride, and obviously why skimp? If you're spending $500,000 on a vehicle,
yep,
what's an extra couple of $1,000 sort of thing?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But then there's also on the flip side of the second-hand market, right? You buy a vehicle and it pretty much suits what you want, and so you want to be able to go and tinker and adjust it. You know, hence the reason of the afterthought of wanting a bull bar a little bit later. That's where this sort of comes in. Now, you can invest in airbags, or you can invest in getting the absolute right coil set up first up, which I definitely would recommend if you're doing it from the very first time. But as I said, these are a solution where, look, it doesn't raise the dead, it sort of fixes a problem, you know?
it also may come down to a budget. Someone might not be able to do it right now, but in a couple of months' time, I'll have a bit more cash. I can then go and add that bull bar, or I can go and add that canopy or that winch or whatever sort of thing.
Look, we're in this market, especially the American truck build market. It's very well known. This is stage 1 and stage 2, and it goes all the way to stage 4 sometimes. Well, you're up to like stage 38, I think. So, you know, the next gadget's available, Dave's on it, right? So, look, so I'll quickly show you through. This is the Sumo springs. Now, these are a really cool product. Again, it's a very simple product to install. This is for your Ford F-150s. Now, I will open it up. So it does come in a few different colors. And this one's a blue, so this has a load rating, I think, top of my head, for about 450 kilos. So what this does get mounted to is your chassis. So where your factory bump stop is, that gets ripped off. This then goes in its place. It's the same place of where you would go and mount some double bellow airbags, whether it's Airbag Man, Boss, Polyair, a few of those other variants that are out there. What this does, look, it's a lot longer, so most bump stops would stop about here. But whilst the airbags, yes, that might have that full contact. Now, the problem that what we're finding with airbags is a lot of people are snapping their chassis because they're overinflating the airbags to try and get their vehicle level. But that's especially for the customers that didn't invest in getting their leaf springs done as well. So what ends up happening is, for a leaf spring, you've got 2 load points on your vehicle. By overinflating your airbags, you've now got 1, you know, so the leaf springs aren't doing their job, and a lot of people are snapping their chassis in that point. So from overinflated airbags, we see it time and time again. At SCD, we had a lot of Rams that were being snapped for that exact purpose. So what you want is a product that works with your factory suspension. So these Sumo springs, they're a really good product for that variable weight. So if you do have a tray or a canopy like you do here, you constant weight, obviously, you know, you've invested into getting the leaves reset for your setup now, and then you also have your airbags there as that assistance for that variable load when you've got the van on the back or the tinny on or off. So with the Sumo springs, when you are mounting them, you kind of want to have like about a centimetre or 2 gap for where these are mounted to the base plate of whether it's your chassis or your diff there as well. So they all get mounted in different spots, right? But what that allows you to do is your factory suspension is going to absorb the initial weight that gets put on, and that's when these puppies kick in. So they do have a load rating of about 450 kilos. This is the blue one for the F-150. We do have some that go up to 1,100, 1,200 kilos, some even up to 2,000 kilos as well. So there are a whole different, bunch of options depending on what your vehicle setup is. So these ones tend to be the most popular ones. So the F-150s, it's very similar to mine. You run that tub life, you don't have the canopy and all that on there, but you just tow on the van or the boat every now and then. You don't want to be playing around with a compressor and having it inflate and deflate and dealing around with airbags. These are fantastic for you. So as that goes through, these will go and start to compress as well to help absorb that weight, just to make sure that you're going to be sitting nice and level and you're not sagging too much. But I've also got another product, so within the Sumo spring realm. So they have something for the front, for the rear. These ones are for the front. The front Sumo springs. Now this one is a very good comparison. So this is your standard Ram 2500, 3500 one. So this is what you have in yours, Dave. And this is the Sumo spring equivalent. So you can obviously see it is a lot larger. So you do have earlier contact with the chassis. This is made out of a very hard rubber. So it tends to bounce, it's really hard, whilst this is, as I said, this is that microcellular polyurethane. I dare you to say that backwards in German to me. That would be a good fun one to do. But yeah, so look, being a bit longer, it's going to have that early contact point with the chassis. It's going to absorb it and release. So you're not going to have those big sharp jumps as you're going through your divots and your whoops or your driveways as well. So there are a whole bunch of these as well, which are really good to also help minimize, specifically for the F-Truck and the Chevs. They're very notorious for that front and the front and back sway that they get. So these are really, really good to check out as well. Another very good product that we do have as well, come further. So Super Springs, this was their signature product. Now, getting leaf springs redone was and it is the best alternative for you to go and improve the ride of your leaf sprung vehicle. Now what these are, so this is a Super Spring. They are made in the US. as you can see, it does have an additional leaf spring. And then what you have are these proprietary shackles. So these shackles, they're battle hardened. They have a few different slots as well, and that's also to help mount the preload tension that this has on it. So what happens is, if you've got a vehicle and you are running your heavy canopy like what you have there, Dave, is you run one of these instead. These get bolted on top of your existing leaf springs. So the other option being is you remove all your leaf springs out there, you go take it up to a leaf spring manufacturer, go get it a whole new set made or get a few extra ones packed in, and then go and reinstall it. This is your DIY, 2 tools required to install it. They're on within half an hour. So a very simple, easy install. These give anywhere from an extra 680 kilos of constant load rating. I think there's some that go up to another 1,500 kilos as well. So we are working with a bunch of companies that are doing GVM upgrades, and these are just a great alternative for workshops to go and get these installed instead of having to have a vehicle on a hoist for a day or two whilst the leaves get ripped off and sent down. So at SCD Performance, that's what we did for your vehicle. You know, we work with a local company down here to go get some extra leaves put into your pack for the GVM upgrade, but there's also this option that's now available. So they previously weren't here in Australia, but we're very proud to bring a whole bunch of products from Super Springs International in here. So if you guys do have some weight issues with the vehicles and it's not riding how you want, but your suspension's well set up, definitely check out the Sumo Spring and the Super Springs that we have. Feel free to reach out to Outback Kitters as well, and our team will help get you in the right setup. Awesome.
Thanks for your time, Mike. Thanks for your time, mate.
No worries.
Appreciate what you do for us. And yeah, guys, like Mike said, if you've got any questions, hit him up. Roz will drop in the information, phone number and email. Now, I'll tell you one thing, trying to get hold of him, he's a very busy man.
Popular. I'm very popular.
Very popular. He's busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Anyway, you're thinking about that, aren't you?
No, I was like, I did have one leg for a while, you know, when in my ACL surgery, and I did try to kick your ass.
So the best way is probably via email,
yep, or
leave him a message and he will eventually get back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, guys, and, you know, for Outback Kitters, you know, we've been around for a little while, but, you know, we're on our own now. We're not operating under any other banners, which is really good. The team is scaling up, so we are building that out. Definitely drop us through an email. We're trying to make sure our website is as populated as possible to give you all the information so you can make an informed decision. But as always, just want to make sure that there are people behind the screen that really do care about your business as well. So anything that goes wrong, post-sale support, we are fantastic, and we make sure that you are well looked after.
And one last thing, guys, come and check Mike out down at the from the 15th to the 17th.
17th, yep.
The Brisbane 4x4 show, right?
Absolutely.
Mike will have a vehicle down there and a couple of other things. And again, if you have any questions, come on in and you'll find Mike. He'll be up near the EC off-road stands, yep, and the Black Bear stand. So come on in and have a chat to the guys.
Awesome, guys. Look forward to meeting you all, and be well.
Hey guys, hope you really enjoyed that video. There's a fair lot about what we've actually done to the car and what you can actually do to it. I've driven the car now because we've come up to Gucci Creek and the car is running like a dream. It rides better, feels so much smoother, and I just love driving it. Anyway, it's that time again, joke time with Dave. Hey Roz.
Yes, Dave?
How do you make a waterbed bouncier?
I don't know.
Add spring water. Catch ya.